All right, guys. So in this video, we will be going forward with the numeric tools that we are going to have, right? So in the last section, we were discussing that in the transform tab itself, we can have two kind of option. Either we can go forward with the text column or we can have these numeric columns, right? So with respect to these text columns, we are going to have some specified tools that we can work with so that we can come up with some very important calculation. In a similar way, if we are working with these numeric columns, then we can have these numeric tools that you can see on the screen. So there are multiple numeric tools that you can work with, which will be giving you this insight, what exactly in which you are interested in, right? So you can have this statistic tools, you can have standard tools, you can have scientific tools. So these multiple tools you can go forward with. So as soon as I'm going to click on any numeric tool, as at this point itself, I'm onto a specific column which is giving us the insight about the product key, right? But just because in this specific column itself, we are going to have, you can see on the screen that we are having these numeric values. And let us move forward and look into some another numeric column. So here you can see the product price, right? So into this specific column itself, if I'm interested in looking into some of the tools which I can apply onto this specific column, then you can see that first of all, we can go forward with the statistics numeric column. So in the transform tab itself, I can bring in some transformation into this specific column itself. So again, we will be focusing upon this aspect that just because we are not on add column ribbon and we are focusing upon the transform ribbon, that's why whatever transformation we will be bringing in, that will be happening into the specific column itself. So now let us focus upon the statistic tools that we are having. So just like we used to make the use of this describe function, which is there in pandas. So pandas is having this describe function, which is giving us the insight that what is the minimum value, what is the max value, what is the average value. So each and every single insight we used to have for a given data set, right? So in a similar way, the statistic tool will be working wherein this specific tool will be working as a kind of aggregate function, So just like in SQL, we are having these aggregate functions and scalar function, wherein this aggregate function is responsible for giving us a single value. So this aggregate function will be working on each and every single value that you are going to have into a column. And out of all of those values that are there into that column, we can retrieve a single value out of it. And the scalar function will be working on each and every single row or each and every single data point that is going to be there into your column, and the same number of values it will be returning whenever we are going to apply those scalar functions. So these scalar functions can be like this trigonometric function, we can have rounding functions. So all of these functions are going to be this, or all of these numeric operations can be working as a kind of scalar tool itself, right? So at this point, we will be working with this aggregate function. So first of all, in these stats tools, we are having this sum operation. This sum operation will be helping us out in calculating that what is the total sum of the product price. And one of the things we have to focus upon in this specific aspect, that as soon as we are working with these numeric tools, so these numeric tools used to give us the value, or we used to get the value out of these numeric tools as a single value itself. So it is not exactly going to create, just because we are retrieving a single value, so that won't be getting returned into a new column. So we can see a new value which is being created over here onto this query section, which will be representing that what exactly the solution or what exactly is the output of that specific stats function is. So for example, if I'm going forward with the sum stats operation, then I will be getting the sum of all of the product price as a new retrieved value. And that value you can see in this query section itself. And in a similar way, you can have these other stats tools. So each and every single stats tools will be giving us a new value itself. So we can have this minimum value, we can have maximum value. So if I want to get the idea that what is the min value in this specific column, and that idea I can get, then what is the max value, that idea I can get, and what is the median value, again, that idea we can have. So majorly, you can see that it is focusing upon the descriptive stats of the given column, right? So the complete description you can get out of these stats numeric tools that you are having. Then again, you can get the average of the product price or the values which you are having in this column, right? And the standard deviation you can get the idea of, and then what all number of values you're having. So into this specific column, what is the total number of values you're having, or the total row count, so that you can get over here via making the use of count values. Then if the values are getting repeated as well, then how many number of distinct values or unique values you are going to have. So that idea you can get if you are making the use of this operation. And these two last operations, that is count values and count distinct values, these values will be working with respect to the text tools as well. So even if you are working with the text tools, we can see that we can get the idea that what is exactly going to be the count of these values and what is exactly going to be the count of the distinct values, which is going to be there into a text column as well. Yeah, the rest of the operations will be definitely working with the numeric tools as well, only, or with respect to these numeric columns only. But the rest of the operations we can work with respect to this text column as well, right? So definitely we will be going forward with this in the for the for, in the next aspect, just after covering that what exactly the standard operations and scientific operations are doing. So this standard operation will be giving you will be helping you out so that you can retrieve a new column, right? So you can simply come up with a new column wherein, for example, into this product price, if I want to multiply some value, and after multiplying that value with respect to each and every single data point, if I want to retrieve a new column that will be having the output, or as the data point, which is going to be the multiplication output of that value with respect to which you have multiplied this specific column data points with, right? In a similar way, like for example, if I'm adding a specific value like 5 over here, so on adding 5 into this specific row, you can see that a new column will be created wherein the first row of it will be having 39.99, right? Just because we have added 5. In a similar way, the next row will be having the value as 38.64. In a similar way, we are going to have 14.5. So now, so in that way, you can see that an overall new column will be created wherein the value 5 will be getting added to each and every single value that you are having in this column. So that's exactly how this standard operation used to work. So you can have this add operation, multiply operation. So you can multiply a complete value with respect to each and every single data point as well. You can subtract a specific value with respect to all data points. You can divide it. You can integer divide. You can calculate the modulo of it. Then percentage you can calculate. Percentage of you can calculate. So all of these standard operations you can work with as soon as you are going to make the use of these scalar functions. So previously only we have discussed that statistic tools are behaving as a kind of aggregate function over here, and the rest of the tools are working as a scalar function over here, right? So along with that, you can have this scientific operation as well. So if you want to calculate the square root of each and every single value over here, and then you can calculate the factorial of it, you can calculate absolute value. So each and every single value you can get into a new column uh, via making the use of this scientific tools operation, right? In a similar way, you can work with this trigonometric operation. So again, this trigonometric function will be calculating the sine of each and every single value, which will be there into a new created column. In a similar way, you can work with the cosine, you can calculate tangent, and then these other values you can also calculate. So each and every single trigonometric value will be applied onto each and every single row over here, right? Rounding operation you will be definitely working with in the future videos and in most of the cases. As for example, if you want to round these values up to one decimal place, if you want to round them up, like for example, if a specific value is exceeding a certain range, right, and then as per that range all of the values which are crossing that range, then you can simply go forward with this round up, or you can simply go forward with this round down, right? So rounding will be helping you out. So for example, if you are just rounding the specific column up to one decimal place, then 34.9 will be returned, 33.6 will be returned, 9.5 will be returned. So in that way, you can see that how exactly this round operation will be working. So you will be getting the round off of each and every single value into a new created column. So again, it's a scalar operation. And then we can have this information as well, that if it is even, if it is odd, so that idea you can also have. So if this specific value is coming out, like for example, 48.07, if it is odd, so you can see that into a new column, uh, the row that will be corresponding to this odd value, that row will be having odd. In a similar way, the first row will be having odd value associated with it. And then this 30, and then this specific value, which is going to be a integer, which is going to be a even value. So with respect to that, a row will be corresponding as even, right? So again, you can have this scalar function, which is going to be this information tool itself, right? So these multiple operations you can work with. So we will be giving you this insight that how exactly you can work with this statistic tools that you're having. And then we will be giving you some idea about the scalar function as well. So just because this product price table is there, so with respect to this product price, I will be calculating soon in this video that how exactly you can come up with a new value which will be applied, or which you can see that will be corresponding to the discount you are going to apply. So for example, if you're applying a discount of 10% onto each and every single value, then after applying that discount of 10%, what exact value you can retrieve for each and every single row, that you can get onto your new column, right, as a discount column. In a similar way, you can, so that we will be working with in this video itself. But first of all, let us go with the stat tools. So if I'm interested in calculating the sum of all of the values that are there, so I'm going to click on sum operation. And you get to see a value which is corresponding to the sum of all of the values that were there into that column, right? So as I was telling you that into this query section itself, you will be getting a new measurement or a new value that will be getting calculated as the sum of all of those product price, right? So in this specific section or in this M code section as well, you can see that how exactly the sum is being calculated. But just because at this point we are not interested in that, so I will be just crossing this applied step. So you can see that how exactly these statistics or tools are working, right? So for example, if I'm working with this product price and if I'm looking into this transform tab itself, then you can see that all of these operations are available, right? But if there's a specific case wherein if I'm looking into this add column ribbon, and then you can see that this statistic tools is not exactly coming out to be valid over here, right? So you can definitely get an idea that into a specific column, definitely the sum of all of the values won't be getting printed, right? Or won't be remaining at there. So that is a kind of obvious thing that why exactly you won't be looking into the stats tools. And soon as you are going to click on this add column ribbon, right? So you always have to focus upon that as soon as you're going to apply some kind of operation that is like an aggregate function, you always have to go forward with this transform tag itself or transform ribbon itself, right? So in a similar way, we will be working with an operation. So as I was telling you that we will be calculating that what exactly is going to be the product price after we are going to apply or after we are going to provide a 10% discount. So if our company is providing a 10% discount to each and every single product price, then what exactly is going to be the new product price? That I will be calculating by applying this standard operation. So now the standard operation, I will be making the use of multiply operation. So now this multiplication we will be doing with respect to 0.9. So that means that now I'm retrieving the value that is going to be the 90% of this product price. And that will be giving us the insight that what we can exactly get after coming up with after applying this 90% discount, right? And you can see the values are getting changed over here. So as soon as I'm clicking on this multiplied column, you can see that this specific column itself has been transformed. So either you can transform the specific column itself or you can retrieve some new column as well, which will be showing you the discount. So I think it will be better if we are just adding a new column itself over here so that we can get, so that we'll get to know that what exactly was the original product price and what exactly is going to be the discounted product price, right? So I'm going to cross this specific applied step and you can again see the values are getting changed. Each and every single value is getting changed, right? Just because the scalar function we have applied over here. Now I can go forward with this add column option and then I will be applying this standard function itself and I'm going to multiply with respect to 0.9. And you can see that now we will be getting a new column and that will be giving us the complete insight that what is the discount, right? So I will be naming it as discount column as discount product price, right? So this new column you can simply derive via applying this operation that is standard operation, right? So this numeric operation will be helping you out to work with each and every single row of your product cost, right? And product price, right? So that's how easy it is. So you just have to you simply need to get the idea that in which specific scenario, what operation or what exact tool you should work with, and then you can simply go forward with these numeric tools. So we will be definitely looking into these tools in the future videos as well. And as soon as you will be working with more of the projects, you will be definitely going forward with these tools, right? So in the next video itself, we will be discussing that how exactly these tools can work for you so that you can come up with some new important calculations into our assignment itself. So we will be giving you this assignment to work with these numeric tools. So definitely we would like to explore you. We would definitely like you to explore these tools, right? So that you can have a kind of strong hands-on on it. And now I'm going to apply this operation. I'm going to close and apply, and then we can look into our data model that if we are having a new column created into our product lookup or not. All right, so data is being loaded. So now I will be looking into my front end, and now into your product lookup. You can see that there is a new column that is created over here, right? That is discount product price. So yeah, each and every single operation has been applied successfully into our backend, and you can see that a proper column has been created into our data model, right? So that's exactly how you can work with these numeric tools. And in the next video, we will be going forward with the assignment that will be corresponding to these numeric tools. So that would be all from our side, and we will be meeting you in the next video. So thank you guys. All right, guys. So here we are with our third assignment that is going to be regarding the numeric tools that we were discussing in the last video. So in this specific assignment, we will be focusing upon the calculations. So into our numeric column itself, we were looking into some of the numeric tools that were there in Power BI, which were focusing upon coming up with some important calculations, right? Like I can simply come up with the average value or some important calculations I can calculate. So the similar way, these specific key objectives will be focusing upon coming up with some important answers or some important calculations, right? So our first key objective will be focusing upon calculating the average product cost. So into that specific column, which is giving us the insight about the product cost, so we have to calculate the average value of that specific product cost and what exactly it is coming out, right? So we are having a numeric tool already for that. Then in our second key objective, we simply need to look into at how many number of colors can we sell for our products, right? That is going to be a second objective. And then our third objective will be regarding that how many distinct customers do we have. So again, you have to count the total number of distinct customers that you are going to have. Then by distinct, you mean to say unique, right? So if a customer is getting repeated again and again, so you have to count the count for those repeated customers should come out to be as one only, right? And then we have to calculate that what exactly is the maximum annual customer income. So we in the column itself, which is giving us the insight about the customer income, we have to calculate the maximum value over there itself. And then we can return the tables to their original state. That is going to be our fifth objective. So with respect to each and every single numeric tool that we were discussing, and with respect to the numeric columns that we are having into our data set, we need to go forward with these five key objectives, which will be helping us out to get the answer, right? So these objectives are also not that much difficult. I think it will take you around 10 minutes max to come up with the solution of these objectives. And in the next video, we'll be going forward with the solution of these objectives, right? So let's meet in the next video, and thank you guys. All right, guys. So let's go forward with the solution of the key objectives or the assignment that was regarding the numeric tools. So one by one, we will be looking into the solution of each and every single key objective that you can see on the screen. So it was not exactly a tough assignment, right? Like hardly 5 minutes you guys might would have took from your side, right, to solve this assignment. So we will be looking into the solution of each and every single objective itself. So the first objective is to calculate the average product cost, right? So let's get back into our Power Query editor and let's get into our product lookup table. So this specific table is consisting of the column as product cost, right? So just because average is again going to be an aggregate function, so aggregate function used to return us a single value. So aggregate function you will be able to work with as soon as you're working with these statistic tools, statistic number tools, right? So I'm going to click on average over here, and you'll get to see that 413 is the average product cost that you can get, right? All right, let's move to our next key objective, and that is how many number of colors do we sell our products in. So in the same table itself, you'll get to see that there is a specific column which is giving us the idea about the colors, right? So this column that is product color will be giving us the complete insight that how many number of colors we are having, right? So again, I will be going forward with just because we have to calculate the count. And one thing you can see over here that they are asking us that how many number of colors do we have. They are not exactly asking us that how many number of distinct colors we are having, right? So whenever we are calculating the color, so we are going to move forward with the complete count of rows that are there in that column. But as soon as we are working with the distinct count, so in that case, I will be looking into that how many number of distinct values or non-repeated or non-duplicate values we are having in this column, right? But just because in this case, we have to simply go forward with the count itself. So again, an aggregate function will be used, and that is to count the values. And you can see that this function is working on the textual data, right? If I'll, so 293 is the answer. And if I'll just show it to you, then you can see in the transform tab with respect to that column that we were having, that is product color. You can see that you won't be able to apply these many operations like sum operation, minimum operation, and the rest of the operation. That's because definitely you can get the count of the values with respect to a textual column as well. But getting these values like sum, minimum, maximum won't be possible, right? So still, I will be able to go forward with these operations even if or I will be able to make the use of this numeric tool as soon as I'm working with this textual data as well, right? Now let's go forward with the next key objective, and that is to get the idea that how many number of distinct customers do we have, right? So that inside we can get into our customer table or customer lookup table. So I will be going forward with the customer key. So this customer key is definitely going to be a primary key, right? So this primary key will be definitely giving us the insight that how many number of customers we are having. So they're asking us, you can see, and you should read the question again that they're asking us that how many number of distinct customers do we have. So we have to calculate the distinct count over here. And whenever we are looking into the distinct counts, I will be again making the use of the statistic tools, and I will be going forward with count distinct values. So total number of distinct customers we are having is around 18,018 distinct customers we are having, right? So again, we found the answer of this objective as well, and let's move forward with the next objective. It is a pretty bit easy, right? In the last video itself, we were discussing about these statistic tools. So we are not exactly required to make the use of a lot of knowledge over here, right? These tools are inbuilt and you just have to make the use of these tools as per the requirements. Right, so in the next question, they're asking us the maximum annual customer income. Again, it is aggregate function. So again, we will be working with the statistic tools. So they're asking us that what is the maximum annual income, right? So I will be going forward with this column. Let us go with transform ribbon. And now I'm going to move forward with this maximum value. A descriptive stats you will be getting, and that is what exactly it is. It is around 1,70,000, right? Yeah, so 1,70,000 is coming out to be the answer. So we are done with our next objective as well. And just because in the last objective we are asked that we should return the table to their original state. Just because whatever step we have applied, we have crossed it as well. So we are back with our original state, right? So you can see that how easily you can work with these numeric tools, right? You just have to make the use of the proper tool with respect to the proper column, and you will be able to go forward with the solution of the assignment, right? So it was a pretty bit easy, and we'll be meeting you in the next video with some important new transformations, right? So thank you guys. All right, guys. So here we are with our new transformation tools, and that will be regarding the date and time column we are going to have. So if you're working as a data analyst or a business analyst, you will be absolutely coming forward with a specific column, and that will be giving you the insight about the date and time of the order, right? So if the orders are there from a specific customer, so if you want to get this insight that at what exact specific date that order was there. So that column, you most of the time you will be looking into your data set. So definitely you need to have a kind of quick hands-on that if you're having such a column which is giving us the which is handling the date inside. So how exactly we can work with this date and time column? So we need to have a kind of quick idea about that, right? And just because of that, into our CSV file, out of all of the CSV files that we had regarding this company, we also had one of the file which was giving us the insight about the date. And we will be looking into that specific table CSV file itself. So you can see on the screen that we are having this company calendar lookup. So I'll be opening it up just because you can see one thing over here, right? As soon as I'm clicking on the specific column, you won't be able to see these options. Like, okay, so you can see a kind of preview of this specific table. So if I'm clicking on OK over here, okay, so the CSV file is just loaded right now. We have to follow the same steps, and that is we have to first of all rename the table. And once we are done with renaming, we have to make sure that the data type is or the column header is promoted, right? So that is also there, which has already been done by Power BI. And we also have changed the table name as well, right? All right. So one thing I was showing you at that time, and that was if you're just looking into one of the table, like let us go with this customer lookup table. So over here, you can see that in this transform section, you won't be able to see these options like the date and time column or these date and time tools which are being activated. And most of the time, whenever we are working with these date and time tools, we will be looking into the addition of a column itself. So we won't be going forward with a transformation just because if we are interested in a date and time tool, and if we are interested in extracting out some important date, so add column is going to be the most optimal option that we can go forward with, right? And that's why transform in the same column itself, we won't be bringing in the transformation, and add column is something we can look up to. So that's why we will be going forward with these specific options only as soon as we are going forward with a date column, right? And yeah, you can see on the screen that for this specific column, these options are not exactly activated, right? So again, the same insight that we were discussing in the previous videos, that when you're working with a numeric tool, you won't be able to see the tools which are not exactly corresponding to this specific data type. And when you're working with a text tool, the tools which are corresponding to a numeric data type won't be activated, right? So it completely depends upon that what kind of column you're having, what kind of data that column consists of, and on the basis of that only you will be able to see that what exactly that tools are corresponding to it, right? So just because of that, just because we can't work with this specific column to get the idea about the date and time tools, so we will be going forward with this specific tool itself. So now you can see and just because this specific column data type is date, right? And just because of that, you can see that this specific option is now activated, right? So now we can simply have a look over that what exactly this date is consisting of. So first of all, it is giving us the insight about the age, right? So this age will be giving you this insight that, for example, you're having a specific column, which is giving you the insight that what was your date of birth, right? So if we are having around 100 to 200 number of customers, and if we are having their date of birth, then if we want to calculate their age, so we can simply go forward with this age option, wherein age will be calculated on the basis of the difference between the current date and with respect to their date of birth, right? So whatever the current date is going to be there, and whatever the date of birth these customers are going to have, on the basis of that itself, we will be able to calculate the age of the customers, right? In a similar way, if this specific column is consisting of both date and time insights, then if I'm clicking on date only, then that will be giving me the insight that will be giving me the value of the date only from that specific column, which is having both date and time included in it. In a similar way, you can see that there are so many number of years that are there, right? Like 2020 year, and in a similar way, you can have these other year as well, just because it is have kind of large data, right? So if you're interested in looking into the year itself, that what exactly the year you can simply come out of, or you can simply extract it out. So again, you can go forward with this year option, and you can have this idea about that what exactly was the start of year and what exactly was the end of year. So we will be definitely going forward with these options wherein we will be look. So again, you can have this tool which will be giving you this insight about the month and what was the start of month. Then you can have the idea about the week that was corresponding to this specific date, right, in that specific year. So if you're interested in looking into that, what exactly was the start of year and what exactly was the start of month. So we will be definitely going forward with that to get to know that what exactly the start of month and end of month means, right? So these are the tools that you can make the use of. So just like in SQL, we are having these functions like month name we are having and these other date and time functions we are having, which we make the use of if we want to extract some important information like a year, month, or something like that. Then we used to make the use of those functions in SQL, right? But over here, automatically you can make the use of these options, which will be giving you the complete insight about the year, month, and every other information. And along with that, if you're having some information that is corresponding to a specific time column, if you want to retrieve the information from a column which is giving you the insight about time, then you can go forward with this option. But just because in this specific column we are not exactly having time inside, so that's why this option you won't be able to see as activated, right? So now we will be going forward with each and every single option over here. So now I can go forward with extracting out the date only, right? So that's because there would be no point if I'm just interested in calculating the date only, just because this specific column is only giving us the insight about date itself. So there is the point to extract the date, right? But if I'm interested in extracting the year and what exactly the different years we are having, then I can go forward with that. So if I'm clicking on this year option, then you'll get to see a new column will be getting created, which will be having these multiple years information. So you can see that if you are having orders in a company, then from which specific years the order was there. So with respect to our data set, we are having the orders from 2020, 2021, and 2022. So this insight we have gained, right? In a similar way, if I'm interested in getting some other information, like let us go with start of month. So you can see this insight that when exactly the month was getting started, right? So that complete insight that to with respect to a specific date, what was the exact start of month that was corresponding to it. So that exact idea you can get over here, right? And one more thing I would like to emphasize on over here, and that is start of week, right? So you can see that there is an option over here that is start of week from this date option itself, and that will be giving you this insight that what was the start of week, right? When your week has exactly started. So this insight you can have over here, right? But for example, if I'm interested in this specific insight that when my week has started, then when exactly the day Monday has occurred, right? So whenever your week is starting, so if you are just interested in a specific day itself, like for example, you are interested in Monday or Tuesday or in a specific day itself, then there is some information change that you can bring, or there is some transformation that you can bring into the specific column itself, and that you can make via making the use of the settings option. So over here itself, you can bring in some changes. So you can see this specific code that is being generated over here, right? This formula. So if I'm just clicking over here and if I'm clicking on comma, so you can see that we can simply put a value, we can simply pass a parameter over here, and that can be a number or it can be a specific day name as well. So for example, if I'm interested in Monday itself, then I can get that insight that what was the corresponding date that was corresponding to Monday itself for the first week. But even if I'm interested in a number, so one will be corresponding to Monday, two will be corresponding to Tuesday. So for example, if I'm interested in Monday itself for the start of week, so I will be giving the input over here as one. And now I'm going to press OK, and you can see that when exactly your Monday has when exactly so with respect to your start of week, when exactly Monday has occurred, right? So this insight you can gain over here, right? In a similar way, as I was telling that just because these numbers can create a kind of confusion for us that Monday is being shown by 1 and then Tuesday is being shown by 2. So we can make the use of some another way as well to pass the parameter, and that can be day dot. So over here you can see that now it's a bit easy, right? You can simply go forward with this specific parameter. So for example, if you're interested in when exactly your Thursday has occurred in the first week, so you can go forward with this parameter. You can click OK, and you can see that when your week has started on 26th, the first Saturday has occurred, right? So this information you can also gather. So you can see that how much deep insights you can get from making the use of these tools, right? This is one of the, I mean, definitely if you're making the use of Python or any other language to get these insights, it's absolutely going to be difficult, right? But in Power BI, it's so easy, right? You can simply go forward with these automatic tools. And in a similar way, when I was showing you that if from this specific aspect itself, if I'm calculating the start of month, right, then you can see in this specific scenario, my month is getting started in the first row, and that is on 1st, 12th, and 2019, right? So you can see that it is not exactly giving us a proper idea about the start of month. But if I'm interested in getting the proper idea that when exactly my month has started, then you can't exactly go forward with getting the idea about the start of month by clicking over here. You have to go back to your date column, and from this specific column itself, you can get this idea about the start of month, right? So now if I'm going forward with start of month, then you can see the difference, right? There is definitely a difference when you are choosing the start of month from start of week, and when you're choosing the start of month from the date itself, right? So these are the multiple insights that you can get. So definitely we would like you to explore these multiple tools that you are having. You can get the idea about other important insights as well by making the use of these tools itself. So just because we have already calculated the start of month, so we won't be looking into this. And just because this particular column is not exactly giving us any proper insight, so again we won't be going forward with that. And we can have the important insight in this column, like the year we extracted out the start of month and start of week when Saturday has occurred or when Thursday has occurred. That information we also extracted out, right? So we would like to now close and apply these techniques. First of all, I can see that in my front end, I'm not exactly having these not exactly having this table over here, right? You can see over here that there is no such table which is corresponding to the calendar tools. But whenever I'm closing it and I'm applying these techniques at the back end, then you can see the changes happening in the front end, right? So whenever it is getting loaded, all right. So now you can see that we are going to have a new table now, and that is going to be the calendar lookup, right? So that's how easily you can work with these date and time columns, and by bringing in the changes into your backend, you will be able to see the changes happening in this data model. But definitely, guys, we will be going forward with this data model in the further videos as well. Just a kind of just we will be first of all looking into the Power Query editor at first, and then we will be as soon as we're done with the Power Query editor and with respect to our backend, then we can directly shift into our front end as well, right? So this would be all regarding the date and time column, and we will be definitely coming with the assignment regarding these tools as well in the further videos. So that would be all from our side in this specific video, and we will be meeting you in the next video. So thank you guys. All right, guys. So in one of the previous video, we were discussing about there is a specific setting that we need to take care of from our side, right? And that is change type with locale. So we had to choose the locales such that we will be looking forward to the locale as United States English, right? So in one of the previous setting itself, you might would have seen that in the file option. So in this options and setting, if I'm going forward with, and then with respect to this option setting, So we were discussing about this thing in one of the previous video itself that for current file regional settings, you have to set it at as English United States, such that the kind of locale we will be looking forward to and the kind of date which will be shown onto our data set that would be belonging to United States date format itself, right? Just because you know this thing that whenever we are looking forward to the date time format with respect to United States, then that date time format will be first of all showing you the month and then the day and then the year, right? But if you're following the date time format of United Kingdom, then you'll get to see that first of all, the day will be shown and then the month will be shown and then the year will be shown, right? So definitely you have to change the locale as per the requirement and as per what kind of data set you have gathered from, right? So for example, your data set belongs to USA, then you have to change this locale such that it should follow the locale for import that will be belonging to English United States. But for example, if your data set belongs to UK format itself, then you have to simply change this locale. And if you're definitely not choosing this locale properly, then definitely if you're having a one of the column which is showing us the details about the date, then you won't be able to see a kind of proper format on converting that specific column into a date format. Like in order to show it to you, I will be showing it by one of the example. So in this customer lookup table, there is one of the column that is representing the birth date, right? So you can see that at this point, I have chosen its data type as text. But just because this specific data type belongs to UK and the kind of locale I have chosen from my side was English United States, right? But definitely, if you're having the format which is following the UK format, and if you're considering your locale as United States, then on converting the specific data type into date, you can see that you will be getting errors, right? Just because this specific CSV file is following the UK format and your current file locale is USA format. So that's why you always have to make sure that your CSV file format and your locale and the locale of your CSV file format should definitely follow the locale of your current file format, right? And as I was telling you that this specific CSV file is focusing upon the locale of UK. So there is one of the option that you can see over here. So into this data type option itself, there is one of the option that is using locale, right? So if I'm just clicking on that specific option that is using locale, then over here itself, I can choose that definitely over here, they are choosing the locale as India just because we are currently in India, right? But it's because this specific CSV file belongs to UK itself. So I have to choose its locale as English United Kingdom. And now if I'm keeping the format as date, then you can see that a kind of proper format we are getting, right? And whatever tools that we were discussing in the previous video, like in the transform tab itself, you can see that whatever tools I was discussing regarding the date and time column, that tools you will be able to work with, right? Initially, if you're keeping your type format into text, then you won't be able to look at these tools, right? You won't be able to apply these tools as well. So that's why it's always important to get to know that from where exactly your CSV file is belonging to. So if your CSV file is belonging to United Kingdom, then you have to make sure that your current file locale is being chosen as United Kingdom format itself. But if it is belonging to United States, then you have to keep it in United States format, right? So this thing you always have to make sure whenever you're working with one of any of the CSV file that the location of the CSV file definitely matters whenever we are working with these kind of columns which is representing the date. Right. So we have just shown you one of the way in which you can simply change the type of your locale based on the location of your CSV file. So in this way, you can definitely go forward with removing these errors, right? Whenever you are getting any error with respect to a date column. So that would be all regarding this video. So whenever you will be facing any error while changing the data type of a specific column which is representing date, then definitely you have to change its type or you have to change its locale type such that it would be meeting the locale of the location from where it has been gathered, right? So that would be all in this video, and we will be meeting you in the next video. So in one of our video, we were discussing about these calendar tools, right? That we are having these calendar tools, or we are having these date tools which we can work with. So we were also discussing about that whenever we are trying to convert a given date with respect to its date data type, then we always used to have this functionality wherein we can simply go forward with the locale of the current CSV file. So for example, if I am going forward with a CSV file which is belonging to USA, and that is something we can set from our side. In a similar way, if we are having a CSV file which is belonging to UK, then again we can specify that from our side, right? And in the current video, what exactly we are going to discuss about is going to be a rolling calendar. So rolling calendar is just like a calendar itself, wherein just like we are going to have a calendar wherein a single calendar is displaying us the complete month, right? So all of the dates which are corresponding to the given month are being shown on your calendar itself. Like for example, over here itself, you can see that if I'm clicking over here, then in the month of June 2024, you can see the complete month details, right? But we are not exactly having a calendar which will be showing us the details from the first date we are specifying. Like let us go with the date that is 1st of January 2024. So now from 1st of January 2024, if I want the date to be shown as the current date itself. So I don't want the date to be shown as tomorrow's date or the date for the complete 1 month. As what exactly I want from my side is that I should specify the date, the first date from my side. Let it be anything. Like for example, if I'm specifying the date as 1st of January 2024, then all of the dates from 1st of January 2024 till the current date should be shown into a calendar, right? And as soon as I'm going to click refresh, then we will be able to see. And as soon as the day will be passing, we will be able to see on clicking refresh that the date is also proceeding with respect to the current date, right? So this is something we can get whenever we are working with a rolling calendar. And that is what our topic is going to be today, right? So we are going to discuss about this rolling calendar via making the use of which I will be specifying the first date from my side. That is going to be the start date. And with respect to that start date, I can specify that what exactly is going to be the today's date. And if I'm interested in getting the today's date itself, then I can simply click on the refresh button, and as soon as the day will be passing, we will be able to see the date getting appended with respect to the current date, right? So for creating such a kind of rolling calendar, we need a important data source over here. So over here itself, you can see that in the data gathering option, we are having one of the source as a blank query. So blank query is something which I can make the use of. So blank query is going to be a kind of query or a kind of table which is blank, which is not exactly consisting of any columns or any rows or anything. It is going to be a kind of blank table itself. So in this blank table itself, we are going to specify the first date from our side, from which the date the calendar should start working, and from which the calendar should show us the proceeding date, right? And then the final date will be selected by the calendar itself, or with respect to the code itself, which we are going to write from our side. So for creating such a kind of calendar, we require the M code. So M code will be helpful in creating this kind of calendar, which will be able to show us the details from the date we are specifying till the current date. So let us go with this option, that is a blank query, which is being shown on the screen. And now in this blank query, you can see that nothing is being shown, right? There is no such table and there is no such row that you can see on the screen, but there is a formula bar over here. So this formula bar will be exactly helping you out to write the complete code, which will be helping you out to convert this query into a rolling calendar itself. So just because we are naming the specific blank query as a rolling calendar, so first of all, let us change its name as rolling calendar. And once we are done with this, now let us move into our formula bar itself, wherein first of all, I'm going to specify that what exactly is going to be my start date from where I want the date to be shown, right? So this start date, which I'm going to specify into this formula bar, will be defined as a kind of literal, we can call it as. So literal is the name for the start date, which we are going to specify from our side. And for creating a literal, there is going to be a code which I'm going to write on the screen. So hashtag date, and then into this date itself. Now, just because we are in the year of 2024, so I will be getting started with 2024 itself. And then I want the dates to get started from 1st of January, right? 2024. So I'm going to click over here. So one thing while writing this specific code, you always have to ensure about, and that is whenever you are going to write this specific code, and whenever you are going to create this literal from your side, so this specific code you have to write from your side, right? That is hashtag date, and then you have to specify the start date from your side, and that is what we are going to consider as our literal itself, right? But as you can see on the screen, as I'm going to click on enter over here, you won't be able to see the first date as our literal, right? So in order to see that specific first date, what exactly you can do is that you can enter equal to over here. Just because this is a kind of common mistake that most of the students used to make, so that's why you should always use you should always take care about this thing, that you should start with this equal to, and then you should specify this hashtag date 2024, and then whatever your current date you want to create, right? And now I'm going to click on enter over here, and you will be able to see our starting date. So now you can see on the screen that how exactly we have started with our literal, and now I'm going to show you that how exactly you can create this rolling calendar, which will be getting started from 1st of January 2024. So on your screen, you can see the first date which is being shown over here. That is going to be our literal. And now with respect to this literal, we are going to create our rolling calendar, which will be consisting of this specific date as the first date with respect to the current date we are in. So for writing that, I will be making the use of this fx over here. So this fx will be helping us out to write that complete M code, which will be helping us out to get the information from the starting date till the current date, right? So I'm going to write this formula over here, and that is going to be list. List you might be aware about if you are from the Python background. So list is being used to store the elements of different data type, right? So if you are having the data of any of the data type, then you will be able to store it into a list itself. It's just like an array in other languages. Just like in other languages, we make the use of array. In a similar way, we can make the use of list in Python. So if you are also aware about how exactly you can gather the information from a specific website, then you might be aware about that if you want to extract the information from a specific tag of the website from the backend HTML code, then what exactly you can do is that you can simply append the code that is going to be there into that HTML tag into this list itself, and then you are required to create a dictionary wherein this dictionary will be now then converted into a data frame, right? Wherein this data frame will be then converted into a CSV file for creating a data set out of our website data, right? And that's exactly how you will be able to extract the data from a website, right? So we have already shown you that how exactly you can extract the data from a specific website by using this web scraping option. But that was something by making the use of this list, you will be able to, if you're having the knowledge in list, then you will be able to extract the information then from a specific website via using Python as well. But definitely from a Python background, list is an important uh, concept, or understanding about list is definitely too much important. So over here, we are going to make the use of this list itself, which will be consisting of the date from the starting date, which we have specified, and all of the dates will be getting appended into this list itself. Wherein as the day is getting passed, as we are proceeding with the date, we will be able to see the changes, or we will be able to see the changes in the dates with respect to the last date that has been appended that matches with respect to the current date, right? And that's exactly the reason why we are going to convert, why we are exactly making the use of this list, right? And then we can further on convert this list into a column, and then this column will be used to show us some important details, right? So I'm going to make the use of this formula, and that is list dot dates. And now over here, I'm going to specify the source, comma. So this formula, you have to just look from your side. There is no such need to understand this formula completely. It's because we haven't discussed about tax or anything by now. So just you can have a look over this formula, which I'm using. All right, so this formula will be able to create a list which will be showing you the details of the dates starting from the first date which you have specified till the current date. So local stands for the location in which you are in at the current. So you can see over here itself that it returns the current date and time in the local time zone. So whatever your location is, with respect to your location, you will be able to see the changes happening in the date, right? So you can make the use of this formula and you will be able, okay, you have to make the use of minus over here, minus number dot from source, comma, and then this formula. And now by using this formula, you can see on the screen that you have successfully created a list, right? So your list is showing you the value starting from 1st of January 2024 till the current date. But in the current date, you can see over here, it matches with the current date, right? So 18th of June 2024, the similar date you can see over here. And tomorrow, if you are just clicking on the refresh option over here, so you can see this refresh option over here itself. Then tomorrow, as soon as you are going to click on refresh, you will be able to see that this 18th will be getting or there would be a row that is 171th row, which will be appended over here and which will be showing you the date as 19th of June 2024. So that's exactly how this rolling calendar used to work. So this rolling calendar will be able to show you the date from the first date that you're going to specify till the current date. So there is no such need to make the use of a calendar which will be showing you the details of the complete month, right? Or the complete year. So if you are just interested in looking forward to the current date itself, then you can go forward with this rolling calendar. So now you can even transform this list into a column by making the use of this transform option, right? So you can make the use of this option that is two tables that will be helping you out to get a complete table, right? So do we need any delimiter? No, there is no such requirement for any delimiter. And how we can handle the extra columns, we can show them as errors. So as soon as I'm going to click on OK over here, you'll get to see that your blank query has now successfully converted into a proper query, right? So a blank query or a blank table has now, you can see that has been easily converted into a proper table, right? Which is showing you the details about the date from the first date you have specified till the current date, right? And that's exactly how you can work with this blank query as well. So you just have to get aware about that, how you can work with these formulas, right? Which I was showing you on the screen. And this is what a rolling calendar is. So definitely you can work with these techniques. You can simply go forward with this rolling calendar if you're interested in creating a kind of calendar which will be showing you the current date with respect to the first date you are specifying. And that's how easy it is, right? So that would be all in this video regarding that how exactly you can work with these rolling calendars. And in the next video, we will be coming up with some more important knowledgeable content, right? So thank you guys for your time. So here we are with our new assignment, and that is regarding the calendar tables. So in this specific assignment, we will be focusing upon coming up with some important date calculations, right? So our first key objective is going to be to calculate the month or to come up with the month name from a specific date table or table which is consisting of the date column, right? So in the first key objective, you will be looking into the month name, that into that specific date, what exactly is going to be the name of the month which is described in that column, right? So that is going to be your first key objective. And then in the second key objective, you will be focusing upon the month number. So 12 months we are going to have in a year. So whatever that specific month is corresponding to, or the number that is corresponding to that specific month from 1 to 12, you have to calculate it in the second key objective. And then you need to get the idea about the start of the year in the third objective, right? So if our data set is consisting of the fields, which is, or the date information, which is there from the year of 2021, 2022, 2023, like that, right? So you have to simply calculate that what exactly is the start of the year, right? So start of the year, that means simply that specific year and 1st January, which is corresponding to that specific year itself, you have to calculate. And then in the fourth key objective, you have to calculate the year itself. So I'm in the fourth objective, you are not exactly looking into the start of the year or not exactly into the month and the date, but just focusing upon the year itself. So into your column itself, whatever the year your data is corresponding to, you have to simply calculate that. So very basic assignment it is, and simply by making the use of these date tools or calendar tools, you can simply calculate, or you can simply come up with the answers of these objectives, right? So we will be again meeting you with the solution of these objectives in the next video. So thank you guys.
All right, guys. So here we are with the solution of our next assignment, that is regarding the calendar tables. So this specific assignment, I think it was one of the most easiest assignment that up till now, wherein directly by making the use of those date and time tools that we were discussing in previous videos, directly by making the use of those tools, you can simply extract out these important findings, right? So we are only interested in coming out with these four important findings, and that will be regarding the month name, month number, start of year, and year, right? So this specific assignment is definitely a bit easy one, wherein directly by making the use of those tools itself, you will be able to solve it. So max to max, you will be taking around 2 to 3 minutes to solve this assignment, right? And we will be going forward with the solution of each and every single key objective that you can see on the screen. So first of all, we have to determine the month name, right? So from a specific date column, which is representing the whole date. So we have to look into the month name. So now I will be going forward with my Power Query editor, and in this, so we will be going forward with this specific column itself, which was representing the date in the table calendar lookup. So now I'm first of all interested in looking to the month name, right? So over here itself, you can see that you are having this date tool, which you can make the use of. And in this month section, you will get to see the name of month, right? So if I'm just clicking over here, you'll get to see that what exactly the month name is there, right? So each and every single month value. So yeah, definitely if you're going forward with this option, this drop down option, so you can see each and every single different kind of value or unique values you're going to have into your column. So you can see that we are having all of the month name. So initially we are just having these month name as January, yeah, and then you can see that February month is also there. And in a similar way, if you are just scrolling down, you'll get to see other month as well. So we have successfully retrieved the month name over here. And now I will be going forward with the next key objective, and that is going to be the month number. So again, I can make the use of this date tool, wherein in this month section itself, you'll get to see the month option. This month option will be again helping you out to come out with the month number. So month number will be like from 1 to 12, wherein for January, we are going to have the month number as 1. For February, we are going to have the month number as 2. So in that way, you can simply retrieve the month number. And then in the next objective, we have to focus upon the start of year. So again, for this, I will be going forward with my tool, which will, and in the year section, you can have this option of start of year, right? And then finally, in the final objective, we have to focus upon the year itself. So we have to extract out that what exactly the year the specific date has. So again, for this, I will be making the use of this year tool itself, and then I will be extracting out the year out of it. And yeah, you can see that each and every single important feature we have extracted out from the date column itself, right? So it was a pretty basic assignment. As I was telling you that max to max, you will take around 2 to 3 minutes if you are well aware of this specific tool itself, right? So that would be all regarding this assignment, and we will be meeting with some new tools and with some new transformation in the next video. So thank you.